Hi, Erin with Mooless Morsels again. I want to talk to you today about dining out. So Valentine's Day has come and gone, but it got me thinking on some of the processes or the things that I do in preparation for dining out and or getting takeout. Um, for people with anaphylactic allergies, dining out isn't always a pleasurable experience like most people. Most people look forward to trying different things and savoring their food, where myself anyway, with an anaphylactic dairy allergy, the whole time I'm at a restaurant, I'm pretty well in fear. Fear that it's not what they tell me it is, or fear that this is going to kill me. So I just wanted to give you some little tidbits and things that I've done and do to try to alleviate the fear and try to make this experience as safe as possible for me. Again, I'm not an expert. These are just things that I've found have worked throughout the years. So first off, what I usually do is I look up, so if it's some place that we're interested in or a friend has proposed to go to, or there's a situation where I have to go to a restaurant that they're having a birthday party for a friend, or so on and so forth, I usually look up the restaurant on Facebook or online and look at their menu. So when I'm looking at their menu, I want to look for things that I feel could easily be made dairy or egg free. Myself with a anaphylactic dairy allergy and egg sensitivity, those are things I'm looking for. So you want to, fairly generic things. Obviously, you're not going to go to a pizza place and expect to get a dairy-free or a guaranteed dairy-free meal. Of course, people are all about vegan and offering that non-dairy option, but with an allergy, it's a bit different. You're really not going to get that guarantee in a pizza place, say. So that's not somewhere I would choose to eat. So again, I'm looking for 4 or 5 items on that menu that could easily be made dairy or egg-free. Again, you're going to have to talk to them about how comfortable, or again, it's how comfortable you are with the deep fryer and the similar items being used in the deep fryer, such as cheese sticks or such. So that somewhat will come down to your comfort level and how severe your allergy is. Some places will. I know when we go to Disney, they will have separate fryers, but here in St. John's, Newfoundland, that generally is not a possibility. Things have grown leaps and bounds here in St. John's, Newfoundland, but there's still a lot of room to grow here when it comes to how they handle anaphylactic allergies. So I'm usually at a restaurant. I'm waiting for my meal. My meal arrives. I'm thinking, okay, that looks too cheesy. Or is that real butter? Or this tastes too cheesy. Or did they cut this with the same knife as they've cut a bread or a cheese bread? So those are the kind of things that are going through my head. So these are the things that I do to kind of bring myself a little bit more joy. So again, I'm looking for those 4 or 5 items that are easily made dairy or egg free. So then once I found that restaurant has at least 4 or 5 items, I'll call them. Once I call, I speak to the person on the phone, and I explain what my intentions are, that I'm trying to come in, there is a reservation, or I'm trying to make a reservation, or I want to take a takeout order, and what my allergies are, and I really stress to her the severity of them, and ask about those items that I've selected off their menu. Tell them that I've perused their menu online and that I feel these items could possibly be dairy and egg free or be made dairy and egg free. So then usually, if that person is familiar with the kitchen, they can tell me right away if it can or can't be done. A lot of the times they will push it back to the chef, who will either then email me back or call me back. Those are the places that I generally try to gear towards. If the chef is the one that's contacting me, they take it a little bit more serious. So those are the places that I really find are my best options. So once I get in contact with the chef, or they get back to me and let me know, I'll then book the reservation if I'm comfortable with what they've come back with. When I book the reservation, I generally I generally ask them to write it on my reservation that there is a dairy allergy and egg sensitivity, so that when they are going through it, that is there, that I know I've at least had it in writing somewhere. Then once we arrive, I usually reiterate it to every person I come in contact with. Anyone who has any kind of contact with me or my table, I tell them, if not once, twice, that I have a dairy allergy and an egg sensitivity, and that my dairy allergy is anaphylactic. So that means I can't have creams, butters, anything with a whey. Most margarines contain whey. So I make sure, even though working in food industry, most people are aware of it, I treat everyone as if they have no idea what dairy really entails. So that way I know I've done my homework and my due diligence to inform them the best I can of what I cannot have. So then once I place my order, again, I've told the person that seated us, I've told the person that's now serving us, and I've asked them if it's on my reservation. Once the food arrives, I generally like to sit somewhere where I can see when the food is coming out, because I like to see how the server is carrying the food. I've went to a restaurant one time and I was served my meal, which I had done all the steps for, and there was cheese all around the circumference of my plate. He had brought out a Caesar salad in the same arm as my food. So obviously I couldn't eat that, and that had to go back. And I kind of had to give them a little bit of a, an education about like that would be deadly for me. So I like to watch how the food is being carried out. If I'm watching if a waiter's hand is being touched another plate that had cheese on it and is touching my plate to pass it to me, those are the opportunities where you have a chance to also educate people on how that is not okay, that is cross-contamination, and how that can be deadly. So then once I get my meal, I look it over. If anything looks like it's not right to me, I will question it again. I will reiterate to the server that I have a dairy allergy, that I am anaphylactic to dairy and sensitive to egg. And is this meal my meal? Are you assuring me that this is my meal? So then once I look everything over, if I'm not comfortable with it, I will again ask, can you just verify with the chef that this is what it is? Because sometimes things can taste pretty creamy or just not feel right. So once I've gotten that affirmation again that it is safe, it ultimately comes down to you as the person with the allergy. If it's something that you don't feel you're safe in consuming, you don't consume it. And you can tell them, I know you've told me this, but I don't feel safe in eating that. Always have at least 2 EpiPens. An EpiPen, depending on your severity of your allergy, will only get you as long as 15 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, until you have to take another one. So I mean, if it's a busy time of year, you may not get an ambulance quick enough to get you to the hospital to get that other dose of epinephrine. Again, at busy times of the year, accidents can happen. I know of an incident here locally that I read on a Facebook page that they had ordered a vegan option at a restaurant and got served a non-vegan option with meat on it and didn't realize until they had consumed some of it. But it was a busy time of year. Accidents happen. Generally, people aren't intentionally trying to harm you or make you eat something that you can't eat. But if it's busy in that kitchen and you're not reiterating constantly to everyone that comes in contact with you, mistakes can happen. So that's my key tip. Tell everyone. Tell it numerous times. Tell it twice. Tell it 3 times. Tell it to the point where they're annoyed at hearing it from you, because it's going to stick in their head. When he goes into that kitchen, their server, to pick up your plate, he's going to say, oh, that lady's the one with the dairy allergy. Maybe I shouldn't take out that Caesar salad at the same time as her meal. It could cause cross-contamination. So hopefully these have been some good tips. But again, your EpiPen is key, and ultimately you are the one that has to say. If it doesn't feel safe, if it doesn't look safe, if it tastes like it could have that allergen in it, don't eat it. Thanks for tuning in, guys.